Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to a special edition of the Arrington Gavin Show, Super Bowl 60 pre-show. That's right, my friends. I'm yours truly, your good friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin. I'm not going to give you the full, spiel how we always do our show, right? The whole intro, because we're not really talking politics here. We're talking all things football. As you know, this is live, so thank you for those who are tuning in to us on YouTube and Facebook. We're gonna have some fun today. I hope you guys got your beers out because look, yes, I did start. It's that time. It's the culture. All right, it's a part of the culture. It's ready to, put down those diets, bring on the pizzas, wings, you name it. I don't care anymore. I am going crazy. I have been waiting for this day, and I'm so pumped. And we're gonna talk all things football, but I'm even more excited because I got my good buddy, Mr. Lennie Friedman, who has a bit of experience about football. Had a great 10-year career in the NFL, second round draft pick. And so, look, we're going to talk all things football from the tail of the tape from two teams. You got Seattle Seahawks. You got the New England Patriots coming back out of the, back from a long awaited time from the Super Bowl, right? Because it felt like on a regular, the New England Patriots was like always, they were at one point, they were like the Kansas City Chiefs. Continue to repeat. And then, of course, when Tom left and went to Tampa and they changed Tampa Bay to Tampa Bay and he, ended up winning out there. And then, of course, Bill Belichick ended up not really catching that success how they used to be. So then he ended up leaving, went over to UNC now, which is still a bit awkward. Seeing Bill Belichick in the UNC Sky Blue, it just is, but it's been weird. And then you have maybe not as weird as the whole, young girlfriend thing, but I'm not gonna go there. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, you've been through a couple of coaches in New England. Now you have Mike Vrabel, former New England great, right? Super Bowl winning player, and also a really, really great coach. Someone who's well respected by his players. And if he does win, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel will be the fifth person to have won a Super Bowl as a player and as a coach. So it's a lot of great stuff. And then you have Seattle Seahawks, right? Led by quarterback Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, who I consider to be a journeyman, right? When he was drafted, all the publicity was on him saying, oh, he's going to be the next great QB. And that did not work out in his favor, right? I think he was drafted to the Jets. The Jets drafted him, and when you play with the Jets, man, it's just never a good job. The Jets just have some, they got a bad curse going on right now, and he didn't succeed with the Jets. Then he was traded to the Panthers. Okay, didn't turn out as good. Then he got traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Didn't have, started to improve. Now he's in Seattle. I mean, he's going off. You hear me? He was a contender for the MVP. I mean, really, really a great comeback story. So again, so much stuff to discuss for the Super Bowl. And then, with great stuff comes with a little controversy and a little backlash. And I'm talking about the Super Bowl halftime, which you have Bad Bunny, a multi-time award-winning artist that's going to be performing. And a lot of folks are looking forward to it. And then you got some bad apples that are just, not looking forward to it. And so, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And then lastly, if we have some time, we're going to talk about the NFL Hall of Fame class that had just been announced, because that as well had a little bit of controversy, because you had the winningest coach in the NFL and probably one of the most successful NFL owners that did not get inducted. So it's like, wait, they won first ballot. How do you vote on these guys now? They did it all. They won it all. Why are they not first ballot? So we're going to talk about that, my friends, in the show. But before we move forward, I always have to thank you all for your continued support of the Arrington Gavin Show. We are a grassroots program. We are growing each and every day in subscribers and viewership numbers. So I truly, truly appreciate those who continue to follow us. As you know, on this is Sunday. We normally don't do anything on weekends. We are Monday through Fridays. We drop new episodes Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple. In addition to that, you can also listen to the Arrington Gavin Show on the radio airwaves. Shout out to our affiliates, WBOK 1230 a.m. out of New Orleans, where you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, as you all know, I've mentioned it on our socials and on our show before, starting March 6th, all right, starting March 6th, you will be able to listen to the Arrington Gavin Show Fridays at 8 p.m. West Coast time on KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM, Las Vegas. That's right, my friends. We are heading to Sin City. So on your way to getting your gambling on, you can be listening to the Arrington Gavin Show just to provide some good luck. And then if you win, and I'll just remember your boy, because, you know, break me off a piece. Times are hard now. Give me just a little bit, just a few dollars. I'm not stingy. I'm not picky. But yes, I truly appreciate that. For those who right now are watching us on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate that. And also, I forget to mention, you can check out past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on GOATverse TV. Do me a favor, download the GOATverse TV app today. Okay, it's free. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. That's right, Amazon Fire TV. Okay, my friends, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, I'm going to be joining with my good buddy, Mr. Lennie Friedman, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk all things football. So I hope, like I said, you prepared. Like I said, crack open your beers, or, you know, your drink of choice, you know, especially if you're home. Look, we know we're all about drinking responsibly here. So that's why I'm home and I am enjoying myself. Yes, in the sake of my house. Yes, I am. All right, my friends, look, we're going to head to a commercial break, though. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create. From weddings to corporate events and everything in between, we specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
6'10", number one pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolves. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Goat Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
You know, just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary. All right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to a special edition of the Arrington Gavin Show, Super Bowl 60, y'all. Super Bowl 60 pre-show, man. As I mentioned, I'm excited to have one special guest to join the conversation as we talk all things football. I have my good buddy, Mr. Lennie Friedman, former NFL star. Lennie, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Arrington. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Look, I'm always great on Sunday, man. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Like, how can you not feel good? The sun is shining. We're expecting, to see to witness a great game between two. I mean, this is really like neck and neck. It's hard to call it. A lot of folks are saying, I think it's gonna, I think Seattle might dominate. I'm like, well, I just don't know. That's a hard call. Both of them have the same record. I think both have 14 wins this past season. So it's I'm witnessing. I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm always excited for the Super Bowl. Good food, good football, good commercials. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day.
That's right, man. And thanks for bringing up the commercials. I forgot all about that. That's another huge thing going on during Super Bowl is the commercials. And it's before we get in the conversation, do you have any go-to Super Bowl traditions or like food, drink, snacks? What's some like what's the in the Friedman household, how's Super Bowl looking like here?
Yeah, so I wake up thinking about pizza. So pizza's always going to be a part of it. And then we have Jersey Sloppy Joes, which is different than what a lot of people think with Sloppy Joes. So some bread, some pastrami, some turkey, some corned beef, some slaw. So that's always part of our Super Bowl tradition. Oh
my God. First of all, that sounds like a major hangover the next day for me. Like, what'd you drink? I didn't drink. I had a Jersey Sloppy Joe. Oh God, but it sounds like heaven. And that's what I love about Super Bowl. I mean, it's you take out the whole eating healthy. Like I don't want to see any cauliflower buffalo wings. I don't want to see that. I like it, but I don't want to see it. I want some real whole wings. There's a debate right now. It's funny because buffalo wings used to always be kind of like top tier, but now they're starting to say lemon pepper is really creeping up as like the number one. What do you think, Lennie? Are you a fan of I'm
more Buffalo.
You more Buffalo?
Buffalo, yeah.
I got you, man. I got you. Same here. Well, look, I mentioned to our audience, man, that you have done something that not a lot of folks can say they have done, and that's not only have gotten drafted to the NFL, but you succeeded by playing not one, not two, but 10 years in the league. Real quick, man, how was your experience in the NFL and just the mindset of that you can kind of put our audience on for players that have at least made it to, look, this is the biggest game of their career. What is the mindset that you think these players are currently having right now?
So they're likely trying to calm it down, right? If they make it too big and they make it about the Super Bowl and the tens of millions of fans, the game gets away from them. So they're probably really bringing it down, thinking about their plays, thinking about their technique, thinking about the game plan, and trying to really make it small and narrow. And this is my job. This is what I've done all year. I'm just going to go out there and do the same thing I've always done.
Got you. And that's I mean, again, you're thinking biggest game of the season. You got millions and millions of people watching you, but also it's like you have some players on there. It's like, next season is always unpredictable, right? You have some guys that might have been in it for a long time. You have some rookies. I mean, like New England's quarterback who's 23 23 years old. I could not imagine being a QB leading a squad at 23. You're talking about a lot of pressure. You have a whole city, right? You have all fans that are, going to be supporting you and stuff. So I know it can be very, very stressful. But man, 10 years in the league, how was your experience in the league? And I mean, do you miss it? Do you feel like sometimes whenever you just watch the beginning of the season, you're like, I got another year or 2 years left.
I think every player thinks that. That's right. I think every ball player thinks that. You got to play a sport as a grown man, right? You got to play a sport for a living, and that's you can't beat that. And what people underappreciate is the locker room, right? Just you with your friends, your guys. It's not PC. It's not serious. You get to be the same kid you were in high school. And that type of camaraderie, that type of cutting it loose is hard to find outside of NFL. So you miss that more than anything. You miss the locker room. You miss your friends. You miss just not having to be so serious, not having to worry about things you say or how you act, and just being you.
Got you. Now, look, you have the opportunity to play with three amazing organizations, Denver Broncos, at the time, Washington Redskins, now currently Washington Commanders, and then also the Chicago Bears. Now, two of those franchises had pretty solid seasons this past year, Denver Broncos as well as the Chicago Bears. What's your predictions, I would say, for next season, in your opinion? And I'll just talk about the Chicago Bears first. Chicago Bears really had a huge turnaround season this year. What was your take or any expertise about Chicago?
Similar to Drake May, I think Caleb Williams had a hell of a year, and I think after his rookie season there was some question about that. He didn't have a great rookie season, so the fact that he came on as strong as he did this year, the fact that they were able to beat their rival Green Bay to make it into the playoffs, I think they set themselves up for a good season. And I think if Caleb Williams keeps developing, just like Drake May, Drake May's got a big opportunity today, but they're still young, second year. If they both keep developing, I think the team's got a chance to be on a good win streak for a while.
Now, I mentioned another franchise there. Denver Broncos had a hell of a season as well, but sadly, during the biggest game, of their season, their QB goes down and gets injured. Now, leading to the next season, I know he will still be missing some days, most likely, because when you're injured towards the end of the season, they still want to kind of make sure you're fully rested, you're fully cleared. But what will be your take for Denver?
So I think Denver would have beat New England if Bo Nix didn't get injured in that last play. I think they would have beat New England. I think they would have been in the Super Bowl today. I think that's going to make them hungry. And I think they've, when the new coach came into Denver, he cleared house, right? He got rid of everybody, reset the program. And if you think about how fast they've gone, similar to New England, where they were really struggled last year, now they're in the Super Bowl. Before Peyton, the Broncos were really struggling. They almost made the Super Bowl this year. I think they would have with Bo Nix. Next year, they're going to be hungry. If Bo Nix stays healthy, I think you'll see him back here. People forget they were almost the best defensive team in NFL history. They were leading for a long time the sack total. They were going to beat out the Baltimore Ravens. So I think if they continue that next year and Bo Nix is healthy, they've got a good shot about being back in that Super Bowl.
And Lenny, last question too. I forgot to mention that you also played with the Cleveland Browns. Now, Cleveland Browns has always been a team. I think that even if you're not a Cleveland Browns fan, you do want to see Cleveland do good, right? It's like they've had so many moments where it's like, oh man, they were improving, they were doing this, doing it, and then it's like, okay, boom, you draft, you give the opportunity to Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, who is a great player. Extremely athletic. Now, folks can always bounce back to say, okay, is it more of the favoritism because hey, he's Deion Sanders' son? Is he really that good? He's kind of undersized, this and that and the other. How would you grade this past season, the Cleveland Browns, and what will be your predictions, or like what will be your take to say, okay, look, this is how you guys, in my opinion, I think need to improve in for the next upcoming season?
So I don't know if and you might know more than me, I'm not sure if they locked their new coach down yet. There was a lot of good coaches. There was a lot of good coaches that hit the market. I was hoping they were going to grab one of them. To my knowledge, they haven't yet. I was really hoping they'd grab Harbaugh, but he's obviously going to New York. they've had a quarterback carousel, they've had a coaching carousel. They're always trying to swing for the fences, right? They're getting coaches that don't have a great track record, that are young, they want to give a shot. I'd like to see them get a proven coach, get a solid coach, give Shador a chance. I thought he had showed some good moments towards the end of the year. I don't think there's anyone else on their roster that really deserves to be ahead of him. But they need to get a good coach, and they need to get a coach that's experienced and won a long time. Stop swinging for the fences. Just do some basics, right? Keep a good quarterback, keep a good coach. You got maybe the best defensive end in NFL history. Just start building around that.
A straight horse. That man is a rare specimen. If what Myles Garrett is, I've said it time and time again. When he got drafted to now, like, he was massive coming into the league. He's still massive now. Normally, you see guys when they're drafted, it's like, okay, you've seen an improvement with their size because they're like, okay, look, you're not a kid anymore. You're not in college. We got to beef you up, put some on. Garrett is a monster. He's been the exact same weight the whole time. Truly, probably one of the greatest defensive ends currently in this era, by far. But it's funny you brought up Harbaugh, because I personally was in, likewise Mike Tomlin, like, and I kind of put
it would be great for Cleveland. Tomlin would be great for Cleveland. I think he's gonna take a year off, but he'd be great for Cleveland.
And see, I was kind of hoping that Harbaugh would do the same thing as far as taking a year off. When you come from, they were great coaches. Yes, he didn't have the season that they wanted, but it's like, I look at guys like Bill Cowher. I look at guys like Jimmy Johnson. I look at guys like not Scaramucci. Is Scaramucci? Oh gosh, he used to coach Green Bay or San Fran. I think it was San Fran or Green Bay. He's an analyst now, but kind of leave when you're on top. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to see, coaches with great solid records, playoff appearances galore, and then they go to a squad that kind of like, McCarthy. McCarthy just signed with Pittsburgh. McCarthy, great coach. Had some good years in Dallas, and when he first signed with Dallas, I'm like, oh God, don't do it, McCarthy, don't do it. But he actually did a pretty solid job. But it makes sense for Harbaugh, because I know Harbaugh is from Ohio, so kind of go back home playing in Cleveland. But I don't know. I'm a little nervous for him in New York. New York Giants is just a hard place to win. It's a hard place to win. It's a very hard place to win. He has some weapons though. He has some weapons now. The running back, I'm blanking on his name, but he had got hurt in the season.
He broke his ankle.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes. And he was
hard nosed, bro.
He reminded me of I think it was a gentleman, Patrick Hillis. It was a running back in the day. They played for Cleveland, I think, number 40 or 45. I mean, just ran hard. Like, he was just running hard. Wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest, but he was. I'm like, that's a country boy right there. He is running hard, but got hurt that season. So I'm like, oh man. But has a great quarterback with charisma, great personality, very confident, athletic too. I think New York needs that confidence. I don't think when they sign Russell, and I'm a Russell fan. Actually, I know folks in his family personally, but I just think that Russell Wilson just wasn't the key piece for New York. I think it's hard to call Russell's career toward currently right now. He's not in Seattle. I don't think he can really turn around a program. He's had some. He can still contribute, possibly as a backup, but he wasn't the wake up call for New York. So I'm hoping Harbaugh has a great season with New York. I hope he shocks us all. I know it's going to take some time to do that, but yeah, just I wanted to kind of get your take, being that you have played with those past organizations. But now look, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We have two squads. We have Seattle Seahawks. We have New England Patriots. We have a quarterback, Sam Darnold, who has played for a good. He's been passed around, man. He's been passed around. In your mind, did you ever see Sam Darnold as that QB when he got drafted? You're like, he can be something, because there was a lot of critics, but you also had some diehard fans that said, no, I'm telling you, I believe in this kid. What was your take, Lenny?
Oh, I think a lot of these young quarterbacks they get drafted high have potential, but the issue is they are forced to play too fast. And I think that's what happened with Sam Darnold, right? So you go to the Jets, who haven't been good for forever. And I'm from that area, right? They haven't been good forever. They're hoping every next quarterback's, their savior, and they force him to play way too early, right? So he's always had ability. He showed it at Minnesota. I just wish if they would have given him a year or two behind just a seasoned quarterback, just like a Russell Wilson, kid you just talked about. If you can imagine a Sam Darnold training behind a vet that's had experience, that's been successful, he would have been for the Jets what he is now. I'm not surprised he is here today. The journey was terrible for him, right? Like he was almost out of the league, and his confidence was shattered. My understanding, he got to play for Kyle Shanahan and learn behind Kyle Shanahan as a great quarterback mind. Yep. I think that's helped him out tremendously. What he's got going for him today is he doesn't have to win the Super Bowl. He just has to not lose. And that's a huge difference. Where Drake May, I think he's going to have to win the Super Bowl. He's got to have a big game for New England to have a chance. Where Sam Darnold, I think, just don't turn the ball over. Don't make mistakes. Just convert third downs. Keep the drive going. He can win the Super Bowl just being a solid quarterback, not having to have it on his shoulders.
Can you kind of explain that a little more, Lenny? Because are you saying, as far as for Sam, being that he has the pieces, right? He doesn't, he has they got a great deal. I was comparing the two squads. Seattle had 6 Pro Bowlers that came out of their team this past season. I think 3 offensive players, and then including Sam Darnold, and 3 defensive players. New England had 2. They had Drake May, and they had Gonzalez, their cornerback, man, spectacular player. They had 2 guys. So can you kind of expand on that comment that you just made?
Yeah. So Seattle's got an excellent defense. I think they might have been number 1 in the NFL. They had a tough schedule to get here. They beat good teams. They've got 3 defensive linemen with 7+ sacks each, so they got a solid defense. Sam Darnold's got a 1,000-yard Russian running back. He's got a superstar in JSN at wide receiver. So he doesn't have to win the game. He has to not lose it. Let his defense dominate, hand the ball off to Williams, a 1,000-yard rusher, get first downs, don't throw interceptions, don't do what that backup at Denver did where he kind of got pressured and threw the ball away.
Or don't go off to Josh Allen.
That's right. That's right. So he just has to play smart, not make mistakes, and I think his team is good enough to win. Where on the other side, I don't think the New England Patriots have the same level of talent. They had a much easier path this year. I think they would have lost to Denver if their starting quarterback didn't go down. Drake May had to play really big. I think he's going to have to play really big again today. And that's a lot of pressure on a 23-year-old. And there's a big difference between having to win a Super Bowl and simply having not to lose.
Definitely, and I agree with everything you're saying. Definitely a lot of pressure for a 23-year-old, because I start thinking about guys like a Joe Burrow, right? When Joe had the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, I mean, he was the next big thing, and he's always been kind of a contender starting the season off like, hey, Cincinnati, watch out for Cincinnati, watch out for Cincinnati. And then it's like, if you don't have that, if you don't at least put out a good fight, right, during that game, sometimes it can be hard to get back on that level of, at least making it further in the playoffs, or making it back into making it back to the championship team. Because this has, in my opinion, this has been the best NFL season in a while because of the competitiveness. This was like when folks always ask your prediction, like, you think Philly can do it again? I said, look, at best Philly can make it to the the semifinal basically, and or make it further in the playoffs. I don't see them repeating doing a repeat is very rare. That's why I always give credit to KC. But see, everybody has KC's number now. They know how they play. They know how their style is, and they're getting older. I mean, Travis Kelce, it's unpredictable if he's gonna, come back or not. And they lost a lot of pieces, and Patrick can't do it all on his own. Those trick plays, they know how he plays now. They know how he rolls. So you're gonna have to change it up. So, I mean, we witnessed KC, losing the playoffs, right? That was a shocker. Then you saw Philly lose, and they were defending champs. And now we have, okay, boom. Is it going to be Baltimore? Nope. Is it going to be Buffalo? Nope. So now you got these 2 squads that, again, I was unaware of how how dominant Seattle and New England was. And again, I'm a little biased because I'm a Colts fan, so I really don't want to see New England succeed. But I'll give credit where credit is due because they are a solid squad. With Sam Darnold, or a question I want to ask you, Lenny. So when you see these QBs get drafted to teams and immediately put in the starting position, do you think that's a smart choice for the organization to literally have a rookie leading a squad? I mean, I get it's like, hey, look, he's great. We've seen how he played, but don't you want to kind of develop him a little better before you just throw him out there in the Lions den?
Yeah, I think it's a terrible mistake. I wish more teams would allow, the young quarterbacks to play behind someone. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady had the great benefit of playing behind Drew Bledsoe, right? Now, Tom Brady wasn't a first-round draft pick, and he wasn't making the tens of millions of dollars right away, but you benefit tremendously from just learning from vets. And especially if you don't have a really good squad around you, and we'll go back to Sam Darnold and Drake May. Like when Drake May went to New England, they had a terrible season last year, right? That's tough to be a rookie quarterback. Sam Darnold went to the Jets and had terrible offensive line. That's tough to be a rookie quarterback. So I would much rather see teams draft a quarterback, make him sit on the bench at least the first half of the season, regardless of how good he is. Let him learn, let him see how the season plays out. I think a lot of these teams just burn quarterbacks out.
Gotcha. I look at when I kind of compare the squad. So we've mentioned how Seattle has a great defense and has an excellent running game. I mean, their running back is, again, another guy, runs hard, creates plays. A lot of people are saying this is going to be a dominant win for Seattle, but I'm a huge advocate of defense wins championships, and it's just New England has a great defense. I mean, all around they have a really solid defense. I think average. I'm trying to see if I can bring up their stat. Okay, so they were fourth this past season. They averaged about 18.8 points per game. Not bad, not awful, but pretty solid. Ranked fourth in the league. Let's see here. Yeah, so I mean, so pretty solid. So what have been your predictions? Who do you think is going to come out victorious in this game?
Yeah, so predictions are tough because as soon as I make it, it's bound not to happen. I do think Seattle's going to win. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, so there's going to be no blowouts, right? Like if either team scores 24 points, I'd be surprised because you got two really good defenses, two defensive-minded coach, right? Both Vrabel and McDonald are defensive-minded. They're smart. They're not gunslingers. So if you look at Seattle, they get their pressures with the four up front. They don't do a ton of blitzing. They're going to try to confuse Drake May. They're going to make him earn it, right? They're not going to give him anything. And Vrabel's just a smart coach, right? He's a smart defensive mind. He's going to have his team playing really good situational football. They're not going to give up a lot of points. Right? If you look at how he played Denver last week, I mean, he was very happy with 10 points, right? And he was just going to play out the clock. He was going to be smart. I think Seattle wins today. I think it's going to be 2014, 2017, something like that.
2014, 20. Okay. Not bad. I'm glad you brought up Vrabel, man, because also, coaching is a huge factor. Seattle has Mike McDonald, again, good solid coach, right? He's still very young as a head coach, but is doing a hell of a job. I mean, hey, he's coaching the Super Bowl. But Mike Vrabel has, I would say, Tennessee messed up. That's all I'll say. Tennessee messed up, but Mike Vrabel has always been a pretty great coach of what I've watched him on the sideline, and even just the whole respect between players and coach. I think that's, and I mean, I know you could definitely throughout your career you were coached by a lot of great coaches, man. How important is it for those players to have the player coach relationship that helps possibly build up a great organization?
Oh, it's huge, right? So players have to have faith that the coach knows what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but also that the coach is there for the players, right? He's not gonna hang the players out to dry at the end of the game. He's not gonna throw them under the bus for a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to Vrabel, the players know he's been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They respect him. They respect the way he coaches. He's literally getting pads on and demonstrating to guys, how he would do it, how he wants it done. And he's just a hard-nosed guy. He played hard-nosed. I played against Vrabel. He played hard-nosed. He was smart. I think I saw a stat today where he was like top 5 in New England Patriots Super Bowl touchdowns or something like that.
Yep.
As a linebacker, he played tight end and goal line. So they're gonna respect him a lot. And I think the same with McDonald, right? Like he's proven that his schemes, his plans put them in a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both teams are going to have faith in the coaches going in. And I think Vrabel shows how important a coach is. Really, nothing's changed with New England. Same quarterback, same core guys, and yet they go from 0 to first place. Coaching matters. I think both of these guys are good coaches. I think the offensive coordinators are going to have a big part in this game. The NFL. I was laughing a little bit when I was reading up on Seattle. The offensive coordinator for Seattle is a guy by the name Kubiak.
Yep.
Kubiak is the son of Gary Kubiak, who was the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos when they won their 2 Super Bowls underneath Mike Shanahan. So he comes from, and I played for his dad. His dad was awesome. Gary Kubiak was one of my favorite coaches. Smart mind, puts players in good positions. So his son's not falling far from the tree. He's gonna have a big impact today. If his head is still in the game, I think he's been announced as the Raiders head coach, if that's right. But he's gonna have a big part of this game. I think the biggest decision Vrabel's gonna have to make today is, are they gonna shut down the run and make JSN and the quarterback beat them, or are they gonna shut down the pass and make the run make Williams beat them for Seattle? And that's, if I was Vrabel, I'd probably shut down the run and really make Sam Darnold prove he can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not JSN, but JSN is going to be covered by one of the best corners in the NFL, so that's going to be tough. If I'm Vrabel, I shut down the run game and make Sam Darnold win.
Hey, I think that's a great point there, because when I look at New England, Drake May is an athlete. He has great legs. He has a great arm, and for a young player, his IQ is very sharp, because you can tell young rookie mistakes especially at the QB position, because I feel like it's very easy to know, like, why would he throw there? Why would he throw into pressure? Why would he do that? He's made smart choices, and they got a great stock. I know they had drafted because you being a offensive lineman, they had drafted an offensive lineman this past year, New England. And I mean, big guy, solid. I mean, he has a great offensive line. I think those are 2 things that Seattle needs to watch out for, because yes, if they can put the pressure on their receivers, that's one. But hey, watch out for a scrambling quarterback, because that's always difficult. That's a very difficult. I was, my career doesn't expand too far there, Lenny, but I had to brag, because I was a high school state champion. Had to bring out the hardware there. Yeah, I don't want to brag.
Nice, I like it. I like it.
There, I was a star cornerback, but it's okay. It's okay. The Lord has something else for me. But that was one of the hardest things, because if I'm playing man coverage, it's hard to be like, okay, keep an eye on the ball, but then it's like, oh crap, this is a scrambler. He's athletic too. Like that's tough. But as for Sam Darnold, Darnold he's a
pocket quarterback. He's not running.
Quarterback. There we go. Yeah. He's a pocket quarterback. He, very, very average. If he has to scramble, he can, but he's nowhere near Drake May. So I think those are going to be some key pieces that folks will need to notice and pay attention at this game. But all around, I think we're going to see a great, solid game. I'm excited to see Seattle in the Super Bowl, because last year, a Seattle organization lost one of their greats, Kenny Easley, who was their star, strong safety. He was, I think he played about 7-8 years in the league, all with Seattle, Hall of Famer, passed at in his 70s, and from the Hampton Roads area. So I know that was a big story out here. So I think that's going to be a great, story, just for, great for the organization, but also great story for Sam Darnold, because I was listening to a lot of other programs earlier today, and I want to say, actually, I think it was Jared McCoy, another former NFL player, and he had brought up that, if Sam Darnold wins, think of the confidence that he will add to young, young kids playing football, that's saying, hey, look, this guy got, he was drafted. He had he had multiple bad seasons from team to team. They thought his career was over, and he never gave up. Even like during press conferences, like Sam Darnold was never like a what's the word? Like a depressed individual. Like after games, like, hey, look, we gotta do better. I'm hoping to continue to push. Like he always kept that mindset, like to just keep pushing forward. The best is yet to come. I still got a lot of learning, and he's doing it. So they're showing those stories and saying how Sam could really be a remarkable, in compared to like Sam, Drake May. Well, he'll be the youngest quarterback win. It's still a big story, but is it as big as Sam Darnold? Would you like to add anything to that, Lenny?
I think those are great comments, right? And that's comments that expand way beyond football, right? There's going to be times where you get knocked down, right? Sam Darnold was knocked down a bunch of times, right? Knocked down at the Jets, was literally said, this kid's done, he's a bust, he's a wash, and just kept fighting, kept trying, kept learning, kept getting better. To your point, not getting down on himself, and not to make it bigger than football, but that's life, right? You're going to have hard times. Things are not going to go the way you planned. And just if you believe in yourself and you keep at it and you keep doing the right things, the fundamentals, you'll get a chance to prove yourself again. I'm pulling for the Sam Darnold story. I like Drake May. He's from he went to UNC. I went to Duke, so it's really tough for me to pull for him. But he's a great story. He's having a great season, and he deserves everything he has. But I'd rather see Seattle win. I'd rather see Sam Darnold win.
I got you, boss. Same here. Well, look, I want to move it on and talk about the Hall of Fame. 2026 Hall of Fame class was recently announced at the NFL Honors, and you have a well-deserved class. You have Drew Brees, second all-time leader in passing yards. Won a Super Bowl with New Orleans, the New Orleans Saints, drafted from the San Diego Chargers. You also got one of my favorite wide receivers of all time, Larry Fitzgerald, second in career receptions and receiving yards. Also played in the Super Bowl. Not gonna lie, I was a kid that was rooting to see Arizona win that Super Bowl. It broke my heart when I saw Santonio Holmes, grab that touchdown. I'm just like, oh no. I was really rooting for Kurt Warner. I was rooting for Larry Fitz. I was rooting for Edgerrin James. Again, being a Colts fan, I was rooting to see Edgerrin James get that ring. But Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, linebacker who played with the Carolina Panthers, great linebacker, man. Talk about a headhunter there. I think he played about 8 years. 2013 Defensive Player of the Year. Adam Vinatieri, again, I'm excited to see Adam in, Colts guy. NFL's all-time leader in scoring, 4-time Super Bowl winning champion. And then Roger Craig, who a lot of folks were saying should have been drafted years ago. He was the first ever player to succeed with 1,000 yards in rushing and in receiving. He did 11 years with
49ers. That's right.
49ers, 3 rings. And so, like I said, great class. But this Hall of Fame brought some controversy because there were some individuals who were eligible first ballot and that didn't make it. One of those people, I think, that's brought the larger story was Bill Belichick, NFL coach, won multiple rings with the New England Patriots. Before he was with New England, he got 2 rings, I want to say, with the Giants under Bill Parcells, and when he was coaching defense. So in total, he has 8 rings as a coach, but 6 rings as a head coach. He was a part, he had the greatest quarterback. A lot of folks can say the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm gonna say second greatest. Okay, spare me. But in Tom Brady, man, when you heard about this, Lenny, what was your thoughts when you heard about Bill Belichick not making it first ballot Hall of Fame? What does he have to do to prove? What does he have to prove anymore?
I was surprised. If he doesn't deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, who does? There's certainly some controversy around some of the Deflategate and the game with the Philadelphia Eagles, where they were caught spying prior. Deflategate probably happens more than people think. I don't think that's much of anything. I mean, a quarterback should be able to play with the ball they want. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know who is. I think he certainly hurt his legacy with what he's done at UNC. It seems like he's there in name only. I mean, they were so bad, so undisciplined this year. Tom Brady going to Tampa and winning the Super Bowl within 2 years, and Bill Belichick really never doing it again in New England. That certainly puts to rest, is it that Bill Belichick's just that great of a coach, or is it that Tom Brady is that great of a quarterback? It's certainly both, but I think the scale is a little bit heavier now on Tom Brady. That said, the man's won 6 Super Bowls. What other coach in NFL history has won 6 Super Bowls and not in the Hall of Fame?
Exactly.
So it's the guy's got to be there. He should have been a first ballot. You can like him, not like him, but it's hard to say he doesn't deserve to be there.
And not even that. You think of the number of playoff wins. You think of the number of Super Bowl appearances. I mean, yeah, he won 6, but he went to so many more. Like it's hard for me. It's hard for me to defend Patriot anybody. It really is. It's killing me just saying it inside. But give credit where credit is due. Now, the scandals, I will say, they bring a good argument, because when you also think of, yes, Bill Belichick has pretty much accomplished all of the, has so many records in the NFL, but he also is the only coach to have been fined $500,000 and to lose some draft picks. So it's just like, again, it sucks. I still don't think that can. I don't know. It's just, could it be an example of saying, hey, look, yes, he succeeded, but we have a standard in the NFL. And at the end of the day, that standard is going to be remembered for years and years and years and years to come. Now, if he snubbed next year, I think it flat out is even worse than the first year. Even though I think nowadays folks are like, hey, look, we know he's a Hall of Famer regardless. Like bump what's going on, but it's crazy of what's going on. But I think before Bill Belichick, I think the Hall of Fame has always had, a standard, because you have guys like Terrell Owens. Now look, Terrell Owens was a bit of a head case. I'm a T.O. fan as far as skill set. I'm not too much of a fan of, look, he was controversial on and off the field. He let his mouth kind of get him in trouble in some points. But Terrell Owens by far could be considered at least in the top 5, easily top 10 wide receivers. He was I think after 3 years, I think in his 3rd year he got inducted. And so it's like I don't know. I mean, it's hard to call it. Is it fair for the I guess the I can't think of the word, the voters, the voting class or the voters to say, okay, forget about stats, but let's look at their personality. Like, to me, that's a bit unfair. It's like,
I agree.
You're drafted on skill set. You're drafted on what's their stats. What do they do in the in the league as far as their skills? But now are they just saying, okay, we have to look at more than just their skill. We have to look at, hey, are they great representation of the NFL? Are they this and that and the other? It's so many. I mean, again, Lenny, you being a guy that succeeded, 10 years in the NFL, I know, every organization you played, I know they had a standard. You weren't just, hey, you're going to be up there gridiron. Like, you have to be sharp on and off the field, whether if it's giving back to the community, or whether if it's just, hey, everywhere you go, you represent not just your family, you represent the organization and this and that and the other. You know what I'm kind of going with?
No, absolutely. Yeah, you are a representative of your team. There's no question, right? So, if the NFL had a clear standard, right? If the NFL said, look, if you're caught cheating in any way, you're not going to be eligible for, the first ballot that you become eligible for the Hall of Fame. If I was confident that Belichick was the only coach in NFL history that tried to steal plays, then I would say, okay, well, he's a unique person, therefore doesn't deserve it. He's not the only person who's ever tried to do that. Other people have come out and said, yeah, we tried to do that to other teams. Yeah. So I think it's an arbitrary standard, right? And I do think the Hall of Fame should be about the coaches and players that deserve to be there based on their on the field performance. Otherwise, who's the judge what off field actions and words are supposed to be? There's no standard then.
Gotcha.
I'm not a huge Belichick fan. I am not a New England Patriots fan for the same reason you're not. I'm tired of them winning. Nothing more than that. But the guy's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, at least 2 Super Bowls behind Bill Parcells. You can argue that his defense, Bill Parcells won because of that defense, and that defense was driven by Bill Belichick. I don't see how you hold him out.
It's funny, Lenny, because I remember seeing an old clip of Lawrence Taylor, and he was sitting down sharing when he first met Belichick. He's like, "Man, who the hell is this kid?" I think he thought he was like a ball boy. He thought he had the most like below the belt position and had no saying. And then when he ended up finding out that the defensive calls, the play calls, was really what Belichick created. I mean, Lawrence Taylor corrected his whole demeanor. Was like, "Oh man, wait, what?" That was, and it was just so funny because then he's like, "Oh, this is a bad man right here. This is a very bad. This is a bad man." Because he was under the impression it was somebody else, but I think Belichick might have been like assistant defensive coordinator or something like that.
Yep.
Folks didn't really pay too much attention to him at that time. But yeah, I mean, he really, what he did for, and on top of that too, you look at all the great players that came out of New England. I mean, Teddy Bruschi, Gronkowski, Tom Brady. I mean, there's Vince Wilfork. There's so many great players that came out of New England that dominated in other organizations, but they always said, "Well, look, New England culture, man, we had a standard. Like, we had a strict policy. We were this, that." I mean, he really was he said, "Hey, look,
very disciplined." Yep.
Extremely disciplined." And I mean, and it's you know, I always share with my friends, like, you know, the late Aaron Hernandez. I mean, we all know the story. I'm not going into details with that, but just imagine if that was still a part of the squad. I mean, it was Hernandez, it was Gronk, I'm like, bro, they could have had maybe 2 other extra rings from there. So yeah, I think it's always going to be raising a big question on like why, and is it fair, this and any other. I do think that the class they chose was solid. You can't
argue any of those choices. That's right.
You absolutely cannot. What about Eli Manning? Because he was also snubbed for first ballot. What was your take on that? Because Eli was also snubbed for, I think it was first ballot. Yeah, I think it was first or second.
Yeah, again, it's if you ask me who deserved to be in the Hall of Fame more, Eli Manning or the linebacker from Carolina, I would have said Eli Manning. You know what I mean? And I don't know all the rules about how many guys get to go in the Hall of Fame each year and how the voting goes, but I mean, Eli, I've always been impressed with Eli. I thought he did an unbelievable job at the Giants, handled all the New York media incredibly well, being the younger brother of Peyton Manning, right? And forging your own way, your own personality.
And the son of Archie. I mean,
yeah, right. And he was, and I like Peyton, but Eli comes across much more humble than Peyton does. I mean, I'm a big Eli fan, and the way he played in the Super Bowl against New England, right? When nobody really gave the Giants a chance to win.
He's the only guy that beat him twice. He's the only guy that can say he beat him twice.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, it was tough for me to see him not go in.
Real quick, and then we're gonna got a few more things I want to share with you. Roger Craig by far was one of the most respected, lovable, fan favorite players of that San Francisco squad. And when they're hearing that he's just now getting inducted, they're like, really? Like, it's funny because they asked him the question, "Hey, what's your take on Belichick not making it into the ballot first ballot?" He's like, honestly, I waited 33 years to get inducted. So he's like, hey, they got bylaws, they got this, I respect it, but he's like, I waited 33 years, so I'm not the person to ask. But that is interesting though, because hey, 3 rings, 4 Pro Bowls, 11 years. I mentioned he was the first player to ever have 1,000 yards in rushing and 1,000 yards in receiving. I think the big question is going to be, Lenny's like, how is the scoring? How do you guys score on choosing players? Because it was at one point, because I think right now they have 5 or 6 players that just got inducted. They used to be like larger class. Like sometimes they'll have 12. Sometimes I will see just less players than that. So it's interesting though. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know all the rules. I remember watching Roger Craig. He was a great running back, but he was also on an unbelievable teams, right? I mean, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, and yes, he was a great running back, 4 Pro Bowls and all that. But was he better than Walter Payton, Barry Sanders? Like those guys are different levels. I love Roger Craig, but those guys are different levels.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he got into the Hall of Fame. I don't think he was a first ballot guy. Right, compared to everybody, some of the other guys that you see. Very happy that he got in there, but man, those teams were stacked too, right?
They were. When you think about it, it's like, yeah, and Rice. I mean, yeah, because that whole. The more I think about the full squad, I'm trying to remember. Like, yeah, they had a great defense as well too. I mean, they were solid all around, but you couldn't stop that offense. I mean, Jerry Rice is like the only. I think he was the oldest player to score in a Super Bowl when he was with Oakland at the time when the Raiders was in Oakland. 40 years old as a wide receiver. Like, who does that? Who goes ahead and wants to play almost 21 years as a receiver? Like, Rice is another rare specimen.
Yeah, I saw some statistic where he had more yards in the last 10 years of his career than Hall of Famers now get in the first 10, right?
Wow.
Just off the charts. Yeah, he was. Very few people argue who the best wide receiver of all time is. Like, I mean, they stop it at Jerry Rice.
I know that's right, man. I know that's right. Well, look, last thing I want to talk about in our pre-show, and again, I thank you again for taking the time out your busy schedule. And if you don't mind, I would love to chop it up with you just for a couple seconds after we finish this. And thanks for those who tuned in. Be sure to chime in and support the Arrington Gavin show. And we got more great conversations like this in the future here for 2026. But Super Bowl halftime, right? We have a award-winning artist, Bad Bunny, very popular in the United States and abroad, really worldwide superstar. But it brought some controversy because you look at, what's going on in Washington. You look at the ICE protests happening across different cities here in the United States. And when it was first announced that Bad Bunny was going to be doing the halftime, it was already, it was criticism from the right, say, oh my gosh, here we go with a woke Super Bowl, this and that and the other. And it brought so much back and forth from the left and right that you now have quote unquote, you have a secondary halftime Super Bowl, which I've never that's a first in my lifetime to say, wait, we got 2 halftime shows. You got Bad Bunny doing his at the Super Bowl, and then you have Kid Rock that's going to be headlining. I don't know where, but he's going to be headlining. And just and I also want to mention to our audience, set aside for being, you had my former NFL star. You also are a member of the North Carolina. You're the vice chair of the North Carolina Forward Party, and so want to put that plug in there. What's your take with this whole back and forth on the Super Bowl, man?
Yeah, I honestly don't get it. And the only thing I would say is there's only one Super Bowl halftime show, and that's one with Bad Bunny. The other one's music. I like Kid Rock. They can do their own thing. That's all they want. But there's one halftime show. I don't get it, right? He's a world-renowned artist. He's one of the most popular artists right now in the country. The Super Bowl's about bringing new eyeballs to watch the Super Bowl, to make some money. They're charging like $10 million for a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl. That's because of all the eyeballs, and you got a guy that's one of the most popular singers in the world right now. It's a non-issue. I don't get it. The man's a great artist. Honestly, he's not my style of music, but I don't care. Right, like that's what the Super Bowl's about. The Super Bowl's about big name artists. I don't get it. I think it's a trumped up controversy. I'm glad the NFL's doing it. I'm glad the NFL stuck to its guns, and I think it's gonna be a great halftime show.
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I in addition, what you're saying is, look, I always say we live in a universal world where we have so many great cultures, great sounds of music, you name it, and the Super Bowl is known to not just have, say, country artists, or not just known to have blues artists or rock artists. They have everybody. That's the thing. The NFL is not even really a national league. It's like an international league. I mean, how many games do we have overseas this past season in Europe? I mean, again, you played, you were part of NFL Europe during your career. And I mean, it was so many, it's all about bringing great cultures. And again, I mentioned Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is U.S. territory, and a lot of people forget, but they are a part of the U.S. And Bad Bunny is an extremely popular artist. myself, I don't know what, I don't speak fluent Spanish. He might do the whole thing in Spanish, but you know what? The beats and the sound, my wife and I, we're going to party. We're going to have a great time. I'm already enjoying my Modelo right now. Okay. And I'm going to enjoy this halftime. I'm probably not going to, well, most likely we're not going to check up on how Kid Rock's halftime is. I saw Kid Rock's performance at the RNC this past. I'm like, yeah, that's good luck with that, guys. Good luck with that. It wasn't the best. I'll just say it wasn't the best, but yeah, I'm excited. And like you said, it's only one halftime show, and that's at the Super Bowl. And I think this is going to be a really, really, really great halftime, and looking forward to it. Before we end this, Lennie, again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out your schedule. How can folks continue to follow you and all the great stuff that you're doing, now after you're having a successful NFL career, man? What are you doing now? What you got going on?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So when I got done playing ball, I went back to Duke and got an MBA at Duke, and I've been in business since. The past 15 years, I've been running small businesses. I've been entrepreneurial businesses. But outside of that, I've been trying to get more and more active in the community and in politics. So right now I'm the vice chair of the North Carolina Forward Party. The North Carolina Forward Party is trying to represent the middle 70% of this country, not the extreme left, not the extreme right. A lot of the things you talk about on your show, right? Just common sense, reaching across the aisle. We agree a lot more with our neighbors than we disagree, and really focusing on that. So if you're looking for a political party that's really for the middle 70%, for common sense, that I think compromise is a good thing, not a dirty word, then check out the Forward Party.
Awesome. Look, guys, I'm in Virginia, but I don't know. I might need to be making some trips to North Carolina, looking at some property, so I can maybe join the Forward Party in North Carolina. I like the Carolinas. I like the Carolinas. Look, I'm in a Commonwealth state. We have our issues here. So, but no, Lennie, I truly appreciate it. Don't be a stranger on the show. And as I mentioned, I'd love to chop it up with you just for a couple seconds after this. But again, thank you for your time. You and your fam, enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a great time. Enjoy the pizza. Enjoy all the great food you had mentioned. Try not to overstuff yourself. I see you're in great shape. You're in great post NFL shape right now, so we don't want to mess up the figure.
Well, I'm going to mess it up today, I promise. But hopefully we'll get back at it tomorrow.
All right, boss. Look, my friends. Look, I hope you enjoyed this special edition of the Arrington Gavin Show, Super Bowl 60 pre-show. Look, y'all enjoy the game. You got maybe about like a couple more hours until kickoff. Look, I'm excited, man. I am excited. You see, I got the jersey, the football jersey on, man. I'm pumped about this, and I'm excited for everything from the sound of the anthems in the beginning of the shows, to the commercials, to the halftime show, to everything. I'm just pumped. Like I said, I'm already enjoying my beer here, and yes, it's not going to be my first and only. Where's my guy that worked with like Stone Cold Steve Austin? I was just tossing the beers. Like, where is he? Where you can just throw them to me? Be a huge help. But anyway, y'all, look, y'all take care. God bless, peace and blessings. Stay safe out there. Stay informed, and be sure to tune in to the Arrington Gavin Show for another great convo. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.